Ah. Welcome back to another week of ILR racing. I am Mackie and I'm joined again by HLG. We are at Bahrain. Hello, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm ill, but the show must continue.
Indeed it must. Unless, of course, it can't, in which case we apologise in advance. There, we covered.
All covered and set to go. I'm trying to work out who the first person out is so we can just get on with this. Hang on. I think the first person out was... I've already forgot to pronounce his name, you told me a minute ago. But the OMG guy.
Joachim.
That one.
I think that's how it's pronounced. But if not, I'm sure I'll get endless lectures about it on Twitter.
Fine. People can correct us and then we can say it right next time. But for now, everyone is on a warm-up lap. Bring their tyres in so that they can then go for a very quick lap. Now, we are, again, short qualifying. So, this is where people have to decide what tyres they want to start on.
Yeah. It's all about trying to maximise your grid slot and race strategy. A lot of people have gone out early on the mediums, but I will expect they're probably going to do a run on the soft later on. Some people are going straight for super softs. They feel confident.
Super softs are viable around here, but they do wear out quite quickly, so I think that's almost guaranteeing a two-stop.
Yeah. If you do want to run the supers in the race, it's almost better to run them at the end.
Yep,
Due
but
to strategy purposes, but we'll see.
We will indeed see. As Huckham, I'm going to pronounce that wrong so many times, is currently on a lap. His first sector looked quick. There was a possible corner cut. Oh,
little mistake at turn 10 there.
Yep. A little bit wide.
Turn 10 has done that to many people.
It's a very tricky corner to get. It is very much you're braking and turning at the same point, so it's a very, very tricky corner to get. Correct. But when you do, it's very satisfying.
Very early into 11 there. Not sure that's going to count. May have invalidated. Not
yeah,
sure.
there's a couple points in
Doesn't
this
seem
lap
to have
that
backed
he
off,
could
but
possibly invalidated, but like you say, he doesn't seem to have backed off. So this could still be a valid lap. He could be pushing right to the limits of the track. But here we go. He's now going to come and open. No, there we go.
And he's going to go into the pit lane.
Which means...
Let's have a look at Dark Phoenix in the McLaren.
Yes, let's do that.
There's time gone on in a Renault there. 130.4. That will probably be beaten at some point. But good opener.
Yeah, I think that's a good opener. I'm not going to lie. I forgot. I looked at it earlier, but I can't remember what times are good around here. But if I remember correctly, that is a decent opening time. But like you said, I believe it will be beaten.
There's a better turn 10 there for
As
Dark Phoenix. JJ Rocks has found a wall somewhere, by the look of it. Can't confirm that right now, but...
Doesn't say terminal damage in the incidents, so that seems like a
that's interesting.
Retirement.
That's a very strange thing to do very early on in quali, unless he's got a quali battle we don't know about, but... Never mind. Addo's gamer, 28.6 on the mediums, there we go. Yeah, you could expect that. 30.4 will definitely be beaten by that driver himself. He's not pushing there. Dark Phoenix is on the mediums and is about to cross the line. There we go, second by 20 thousandths.
I have to say, these are some very good times for the medium rows. I will say, Dragon there, I did watch the end of his lap.
Oh my good grief!
Oh, what happened there? I missed that.
Holy Jesus. I was on board with a Williams and there's a wild, I think it was a Red Bull or Toro Rosso, just got wildly out of shape, hit a curb and killed him.
Oh.
It's unbelievable.
That's rather unfortunate there for Craig.
Man alive.
But like I was saying, Dragon there on his super soft run doesn't seem very quick, but I did watch the end of him and end of his lap, and he did back out. He did lift off coming down the straight, so he can still go quicker if he wishes.
Yeah, it's always good to see that people can go quicker if they need to or want to later in the session. It's what you'd expect. They're not really trying as hard to get a great lap in the early stages. You just need to get a lap in and build from it.
Yep.
As we're on board
It
with
gives
Barry,
you a delta to base your next lap off.
responsible for Craig's explosion. We'll have to check that later. But anyway, here comes Barry to start a lap. So we'll go on board with him as he takes the run into turn 1 and 2.
Yep, it's going to be a
zone. Very nice.
very nice braking into there indeed. Hits the apex beautifully. Gets the power down a little bit cautious on it, but still nevertheless good run through those first few corners. This is going to be a nice fast right-hander. Interestingly down to third. Normally I would leave that in fourth, but each driver to their own. Now this is a tricky section here. You want to carry speed, but not too much, because the second you hit those curbs, it can chuck your car.
Yes, I was in the lobby the other day and someone actually flew by getting on that curb, so...
Yeah, it's very dangerous curb.
Quite spectacular, but you really don't want to be the one doing it.
Wait, he locks up slightly, that could just be the spectator, but still hits the apex beautifully. Absolutely beautiful execution there. Yeah, now, here's where we come up the hill. This is where you want to be nice and tight on this bit as you run out wide.
Stay away from that curb.
Yep, stay away from it. Now you want to stay away from this curb as well. He stays well away from it. Interestingly, you can get a little bit closer, but I guess it doesn't want to take too much risk at this point. Now, down the final back straight before the final turn, where he will be looking to be in third. Interesting.
Tidy.
Yes, it was very tidy. Opens his DRS to
not
come
particularly quick,
the line.
but it's a lap on the board.
It's a lap.
Mediums 29.9.
Not horrendous, I will say.
Passion's having all sorts of trouble there off the track, just on an in lap, just trying to come back later. Let's have a look at Denzel in the Renault.
Yeah, it looks like he's coming around to
two
finish
different Renault drivers. Yeah, 20, there you go. 27, quite competitive.
Quite competitive, interestingly, on the softs already, so...
sold at a medium.
It'd be interesting to see if he needs to do another run, what tyre he would choose, but for now, soft tyres, decent-ish lap. But yeah, like you were stating, two brand new Renault drivers today.
Yeah, the other two Renault drivers didn't get on with each other and just had an incident on, I think it was lap 2, and retired on the spot. So, well, one of them did. And anyway, they're both somewhere else at the moment.
Yep, who else here then is on a lap? Looks like OMG is finishing one. Very nice lap there, 27.7.
I'm going to keep trying to pronounce it until I get it spot on.
Oh, I'm
a little bit wide for Dun Thunder there as he comes into the... Yeah, he's invalidated. He's back right off into mode 0. Must have felt the weight of commentary on his little side pods there.
Yeah, he can give it another attempt though. Those tyres can do 2 laps.
I don't know if he is or not. He was up through 1 and then he's slightly down in 2. I'm not sure if he's on a lap. He's got no ERS if he is.
Thunder
I imagine he'll be taking a right.
He's just started one, so let's have a little look of a lap with him. See if he can keep it nice and clean. A bit wide into turn 1.
Denzel's still on it. He's improved. 28.5. No more laps on those tyres though.
Yeah, that is it. Don't want to be doing any more laps on those. Looks like Thunder might have invalidated his lap somewhere. He seems to have backed right out. No? I don't know what he's done. He dropped it down to 0 ERS for a second then, and now he's back up to 4. So, I'm a little bit confused at whether he's still on a lap or not. Seems to still be pushing.
We'll follow him now, because he seems to be the only driver on track that hasn't set a time yet, so we'll look. Turn 10 was done quite well there.
Yep, that was pretty much perfect. As he comes up the hill, he's gonna... Actually, that was a pretty decent line up there, through there, and now he's gonna... Oh, he actually hits that curb! He's a braver person than most.
Ooh, very, very much brave, yeah. I think that's probably the one in 10 instances you get away with touching the curb there.
Yeah. Normally that curb would
Has it
chuck
affected
you
him too
straight
much?
into a wall.
I wouldn't say it's affected him too much. He may have lost a little, but still set a reasonably competitive time.
Here we go. It's going to be a
sideways there. Oh my word! There we go.
That's it. Right. He definitely doesn't want to be doing any more laps on those tyres.
He's just started a lap in a Renault, so let's go to him. Oh, he's gone wide. Never mind.
He's gone wide and had to back
it's not
out
going
that
anyone at all.
And he's not going to want to do another lap on those tyres either, so that'll be...
He's got a Dragon in the Ferrari. Seems to be on a lap.
Yep. On board with
the
him.
Mercedes gets nicely out of the way there. Turn 3.
Yep. That's what we like to see, people moving out of the way nice and cleanly so that the drivers can get on with their lap. As he executes that little section to near enough perfection, hitting the apexes he needs to hit, but at the same time carrying enough speed. Again, into this tricky corner where slight lock-up, slight adjustment of his steering.
Slightly untidy, but could get away with that.
Yep, it's definitely not the worst way you could take that corner, that's for sure.
I've noticed a lot of these people are taking the outside curb into turn 11 on
Yeah, I think it's just to give them a little bit more of a wide run into it so they can get closer to that curb as they're exiting. It's different driving styles from different people, but Dragon seems to be doing it on most of these turns as he goes into the entrance, running his outside wheels.
And not at the final corner, which is strange to me.
Yep,
but never mind, he's gone even quicker.
Yep.
Look at Passion's round. I was going to go on board with him, but he's I've caught him just in time to do some premature donuts. They're not premature, I just like to add silly words in, just for emphasis. I know exactly what he's done there. It's happened to us all as we try to recover from a spin. We have another one.
Yep,
definitely won't be finishing that lap on those tyres. He'll trash the rears by doing that.
Interestingly, AMG Kosher has not come out to do a lap yet. He looks like he doesn't want to get any kind of eye in for the track. He just wants to go for that one time at the end of the session.
Talking of laps, Atlantis is just about to finish a lap. I've been on board with him for the last several seconds, and you'll see him go across the line now into third place. If you can keep that, Atlantis, one thing you shouldn't do is jump the start again, sir. Please don't do that.
Yes, please do not do that. We're looking at quite a close battle right now here. Top 3, all on a 27.5.
The spin has gone again on these tyres. Interesting call. You had enough time to come in and change them if you wanted to, but that's just a strange line into turn 1. That's very strange. That's not even made it. Okay, that's the end of that.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at KG Fuzzball for the first time today.
Yeah, that's one man we have not been on board with yet this session in his Force India. So here we go. Let's have a look at a lap of his. He misses that apex slightly, but gets it through the next turn relatively smooth. A little bit of oversteer as he's wiggling his wheel quite a lot down the straight. I think it's strange.
Passion's probably retired on track, given we just saw him at turn 1. But that shouldn't cause too many problems.
No, hopefully he'll put the car in a safe location. But for now,
turn 10,
looking
slightly
wide,
slightly cautious, but
clean.
Made it.
That's the key to this right now, a clean lap.
Yeah, one of the few drivers that the exit curve into 11 there. It's all about, as you say earlier, driver preference, but I think it's easier to not use it, but that's just me.
Yeah, again, as I said, preference. I personally don't use it either, but it seems like a few of these drivers do. As here we go, Fuzzball getting ready to come across the line. It looked like a clean lap, not necessarily the fastest. There you go, 27.9.
Decent, 27.9. I'd be very happy with that if I was him. 29.9, that's a very good position for the strategy as well. Barry is not going particularly quickly. He's in Mole 3. Atlantis retires from session in the pit lane, I believe.
The way he's moving as well tells me that he's not really going for it on this lap.
Novus is on an out lap. Denzel in the Renault there. Seems to be the only person on an out lap right now. So let's go to his Renault teammate.
Started a lap as well.
His Renault teammate is on a lap in sector 1 there, so 28.8 sector 1. Should set him up very handily for the rest of the lap, that. Although, I'm not so sure he's fully going for it. Or turn 10 there, very, very cautious. Let's just see. Everyone's on.
I think everyone's starting to get ready to do their final lap. Interestingly, MG Coach is still not coming out of the pits. I don't think he's going to get a lap in.
Oh, he won't. So he'll be starting 17th.
Well, indeed, he'll be starting 17th ahead of, behind, should I say, 2 other non-time setters who, well, one retired manually, interestingly enough, and the other one crashed. So, well, okay, not necessarily his fault, but it was still a crash.
No, I mean, he was in an incident. I'm not really sure what happened, but I think it was a Red Bull, I think. Got on a curb and I think just
finish line 27.8. That's a decent lap. That should set him up nicely for the race, as a few people at the front have come back out on the super softs. That's an interesting choice.
I'm on board with the gamer, Adar's gamer, as he's just about to start his final lap of the session. There's 35 seconds left now, so.
Yep, this will be his final lap. He has to, a lot of these people have to nail these laps. As I think, Leclerc's going to get across the line to start his as well. But for now, I'm going to go on board with Gamer, I think, and have a look at how he does on his lap. So, I've missed the first sector completely, but we'll go for the middle sector.
Okay, don't worry. 28.1, sector 1 there.
Yep,
and
he
there's
seems
a yellow flag in sector 1 and 2. That could just be people getting out of the way or leaving room for someone, I don't know, but...
I don't know, but here we go. Turn 10. He hits the apex, is a little bit hesitant on putting the power down coming out of that corner though. He could have definitely put it down a little bit earlier, but that won't cost him too much. Up the hill, decides not to run the outside curb.
Definitely held it in 6th around there. Some people will try 7th, but it's probably better to go 6th. Just so you can get the back end round properly. Yep,
there we go. He's going to be looking to get it down to... Yeah, he is one of the guys that uses 4th round the final turn, doesn't drop it to 3rd. Here we go.
Let's go across the line shortly. And that is good enough for pole position at the moment. The Dragon is on track as well, behind him on the Super Softs.
Yeah,
I think he's just gone around turn 10 11 there. So we'll see what he does shortly. Anyone else on a lap? Not really sure.
Denzel might be, but no, there we go. He finished his lap, didn't set a better time. So,
okay, so it's Dragon then.
It's just Dragon
or Ados for pole.
Lap.
Looks very, very quick through there.
And he backs out.
Doesn't want to start on supers.
Yeah. He decides 2nd place on the soft tyre is a better call.
Fair enough. A lot of people wouldn't do that. People just get carried away with pole position, but this race is a lot of people sign on the softs there. The top 9 softs, Leclerc's on the mediums, and everyone else can choose whatever they like.
They can indeed choose whatever they like. The interesting thing there is Leclerc in 10th on those mediums. He's not got a high starting position, but he can go longer into the race as long as he can avoid damage at the start.
Yeah, it's all about strategy. That it's great to be in the top 10 on the mediums. He probably could have come out on softs if he wanted to, but I guess he didn't feel the need when he saw he was 10th on the mediums. So now he's got the best strategy. Probably it'll be slower at the start, but he can go longer, as you say, and that will give him more options later in the race.
Yep.
Just to confirm the grid there. Unfortunately, MG Kosher didn't leave the garage. JJ Rocks didn't set a time, and Craig Connolly unfortunately got his car exploded. And then Passion, Yos, I forgot how to say it already. Never mind. We'll move on from that one. Nemesis and Denzel round out outside the top 10, and we covered the top 10 in the session earlier. So, looking forward to this race. One of my favourite tracks on the calendar. I don't know why. I just go well really here when I'm driving, and it's always good to call the race here as well.
Yeah, it's a solid track for racing. Just because you can make moves into most corners around this track, as long as you have your car alongside someone, there is a very high possibility of making the move stick, which opens up for some good racing.
Yeah, that's all you really want. Good racing, side-by-side action, and clean driving as well.
Yep. So
it's always good to see the transition from day to night as well.
Yes, this track is always one that catches my eye, and in the night time looks spectacular, considering.
Yeah, very good, as people are starting to lock in their strategies.
Yep, that was...
And shortly we'll be underway.
That was some quick strategy calls by a lot of the drivers there, so this will be interesting to see how it plans out for most of them. Right, here we go. If you look at the front, I will look at the rear of the grid when we get away.
Safety lap.
Yes, the safety lap. Oh, no,
stupid.
It's not much of a formation lap, really, is it, on this game, considering, well,
no, not
you
really.
can't position your car. So, we'll go with the safety lap, where people will...
Safety lap, just here to reduce lag.
Pretty much.
Yeah, we have one extra on the grid that didn't do quali.
Yep, I was
DTM in 18th.
Yep, so he was
I think he was the one that was slightly late, but slightly too late for it to hold the lobby anymore, I think. But yeah, anyway, he's here now, so let's see what he can do from the back on the mediums.
I was just about to bring those tyres up.
Yeah. As we covered in quali, top 9 on softs, look at it on the mediums in 10th, then everyone else chose Denzel softs, Nemesis on mediums as well, Yoska, Passion, Craig on the soft, JJ Rocks on the medium, Kosha also soft, and as you stated, DTM on the mediums.
It'll be interesting to see how these medium runners start their race. If they can get a good start, it will already play very well into their hands, as everyone will be looking to do the one stop in this race, as long as they can avoid any kind of silly damage.
I mean, I'm not so sure one is the best strategy around here. You can beat people on one, on a two, if you don't get caught up behind slower guys, because you can really push the double soft and super strategy, whereas they're trying to nurse their mediums at the end, so you might be able to jump them on the supers, but that's really going to be a judgment call based on what you're doing in the race yourself anyway.
Yeah, you have to put enough of a gap to be able to make that kind of a call. That's the thing here, as there's a Williams backwards. Interesting.
I mean, that happened in real life.
I'm just going to move on and pretend.
I don't think it was a Bahrain, it was a China, but never mind. 12th place Nemesis seemed to be facing the wrong way for a moment there, but anyway, he's back around now, and we're going to get a god-awful camera angle for about 20 years. Let's try and figure that out. Sorry everyone, I can't do that. There we go. Lights.
And,
still lights. And DTM jump the start from the back.
That's not ideal for him, but
Atlantis
we
this
are
week.
away as McLaren or someone. I think it's JJ Rocks. JJ Rocks making positions off of the start.
Ferrari takes the lead. Dragon was defending it. I think he was, yeah, he started second. Takes the lead into turn 1 from the Mercedes, and then his Ferrari teammate is 4th. Well, he's in a battle there with the Haas of... Oh, yeah. I'm not saying that gamer tag too often.
I have to say, very good start there from Leclerc, already in 7th place as he runs into 6th because the Mercedes runs wide. So in fact, he's already making overtakes
There's
as well.
5th.
He's on an insane
There's
start.
a few cars off the track there in the background. That's a ridiculous start. Well, there's a bit of a logjam into turn 10 there, but no real damage caused, I don't think. Casey
like
Fuzzball in 7th there. There seems to... Oh my word, what the hell is going on there? 5 seconds stop go. Collided with Barry and gained a place.
Oh,
dear.
collision. Toro Rosso into the back of a McLaren. Oh, he loses part of his front wing because then he gets collected by the
there's-
Haas. And
There's carnage back there.
AMG car, she goes backwards.
Saw a massive train coming out of turn 10 a moment ago.
Yep.
This is obviously a... Oh, this is not where you want to be.
I think what's causing it, unless it's just
race.
my end seeing it, what might be causing some of the confusion back here is, on my end, Passion has a bit of a lag. But it's not horrendous. That might be what's causing it. I don't know. But KG Fuzzball
There's a
has
McLaren
to go
heading for the
into
pits there. I believe that's JJ Rocks. It is. KG Fuzzball also pit. There's a party in the pit lane.
Yep.
A lot
Many
of front
people
rings
having
being
to pit.
changed.
Looks like
Kosher
there was
joins
more.
them as well. There was a massive chaos at I think it was turn 10. In the background, 5 second near speeding in the pit lane. That's really, really not the wisest thing to do.
Most of them switch to the softs, except DTM, who actually puts on the super soft tyres.
That's an interesting call. He's definitely going to stop from here.
It'll be interesting to see what tyre he
He'll
goes
be
on to
3
next.
top, I think. Unless he... Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely strange to put the supers on lap 2, but... Wait, no, whatever. We'll see how he makes it work, but... There's a massive, massive train here. Thunder to Leclerc to Atlantis to Dragon to Joachim.
Yeah, there's a bit of a train going on. I have to give a shout out there to Gamer. He's already pulled it over the second gap in just that 1.5 laps. So he's definitely
So it's key to do
flying on
that
those
now
softs.
when DRS is about to be activated. So
Yep,
it's
Dragon's
key to
going to be
just
looking
above
to
there.
get past OMG in a minute by the looks of things.
On board with Thunder at the back of the train. You can see all the cars ahead of him. Can he make a move onto Leclerc into turn 1, as I think that was Atlantis, that's the fastest lap of the race, in 4th. He can't do the move, but he is closer than he was.
Big slide there from Dragon.
Better drive out of 1.
As Thunder, in fact, takes a
there's
look
a
on the inside of
Mercedes.
Leclerc. That was very brave. Very little bit of contact, but no damage to either of the cars. Both of them get out of it.
Yeah, I didn't see any body parts flying off the car or anything there, so bit of a scare, but I think he won't be trying that again in a hurry.
His Passion seems to have lost a couple more positions, so I think he's having big issues, very, very big issues by the looks of things.
Great camera angle there, rear tyres, brilliant. Thank you very much for that.
Hang on, what we got? Thunder still close to the Leclerc.
Still on board with Thunder here on this battle. I am going to take a quick look at Atlantis because he's right behind his teammate in the middle of this train. Seems to have pulled a little bit of a gap over Leclerc and Thunder, who's at the back now.
Interestingly,
Having
up
their own
front,
battle
the gap has become smaller again, actually. Well, it was under a second for a minute
Slightly
then,
smaller.
but it was at 8 tenths a second ago, but he gained 3 tenths down that straight, so that's going to be important. He wants to make sure he stays that gap. Yep, it's just about
Atlantis
enough.
is flying right now.
Still going
He's up for
very
this.
quickly.
Can he make the move into turn 1? Probably not. Some people will
No,
try there, but they're foolish.
That would be a very brave dive into turn 1 there from that far back, so I give him due for being patient. He knows
He's gaining all the time on his teammate. There's no move there yet.
No,
He's going to be down the DRS straight or into 10 itself from here.
See, if I was in Dragon's position, I would say, you are quicker than me, go get him. But
Obviously,
it seems like,
yeah, not all people think like that.
nope, seems like Dragon is determined to keep that position and try and make a move for second. on his own. Actually, in fact, I gap to first. It closed down again. It seems like in that middle sector, Gamer just loses out on a lot of time.
I'll follow him for a lap or so in a bit. I just want to see the battles behind him. See exactly why he keeps losing time. And then probably getting it back down sector 3, but JJ out of the race. Let's have a quick look with the ETM to see if we can. I think there it is in the wall. He's obviously got on the curb, put the power down too early or something. That's the end of his race.
Oh, actually,
it's unfortunate.
Hang on. Dragon here could be looking, if he can get a good run out here. He does seem to, but OMG ahead of him also got DRS.
Was
so
taking his teammate with him as well.
Yep, just
no boost for anyone into turn 1,
but behind. But no, this is nose to tail stuff right now. Thunder getting past Leclerc just then that we just missed. I didn't realise the gap to them was that close. But Leclerc won't mind that too much. He knows he's on a different strategy to him right now.
Yeah, you just got to manage your tyres and manage your race. If you start trying to get involved in other people's race, that's when yours goes all wrong. Leclerc will not worry too much that he's being passed by people at the moment, because he's on the better strategy but the slower tyre for now. It will be the other way around in the second half of this race.
And that's
just
when
be patient
we will see him.
Keep your chance there.
Yep, that's when we'll see him really come back at some of these guys. But for now, the top 4 still very, very close. In fact, Gamer's struggling here. He seems to not be able to pull that second gap back.
Yeah. I completely forgot to look at him through that sector, but that's where he seems to lose his time. But I was just focused on the Ferrari battle in the third there. But Joachim is second in the Haas.
Yep, all 3 of these drivers behind Gamer here of second, third and fourth all want to get a good run out of this final turn. And then they could start closing the gap on the guys ahead. But it's...
Enzo went defensive early there to try and break the toe with the guys behind him. Lantis seems to have dropped a little bit further back from his teammate there. I'm not sure what happened, but train's now down to 3 temporarily, but I'm sure Atlantis will probably reel himself back in.
Just be struggling with the free car dirty air. Dirty air is horrible on this game as it is, and if I'm not mistaken, yeah, he's on a wheel, so you really do feel the dirty
there,
air.
Yellow flag, sector 3, don't know why. KG was in the pit lane.
That's passion. He's had a big moment. He's had to come back onto the track. He's got a lot of dirt on his tyres. He seems to be really struggling back there. Yep, it's KG Fuzzball's in.
Fuzzball going to the medium. Interesting, yeah, that's okay. It's going to be asking a lot to go to the end, but
it's possible.
May
those
just be
tyres
possible.
will feel like ice, though.
Yeah, maybe possible, but we'll see.
We go back at the front. Dragon is closer to... Oh, hang on. Jocken's had a moment there by the looks of things.
He's had a moment. He's lost the rear there, and that's Dragon through. Atlantis will probably be next.
Yeah, well,
seems to recover from his moment, but he's definitely lost the position there.
Dragon's going to be under threat because he's not going to get DRS, whereas Joachim is going to get it. So he's going to be lurking to come back at Dragon if he can get close enough.
Look at this. Oh, wrong button there. Well done, commentary.
Here we go as he goes down.
Gone for it into turn 1. Goes on the inside. Dragon knows he's there. Doesn't try and fight him. Thinks he wants his DRS back for the next time around anyway.
Yeah, I'd imagine that's what he's going to be looking at.
Oh, went a little bit wide there. I'm not sure what happened.
Not entirely sure what happened either there, but
no harm done. No car in a wall.
Exactly. As I know, it's a bit further back.
But
three-way battle here for what is 13th place. Passion losing out on Kosher. Barry's going to look to be the next one past him.
Yeah, I'll go on board with that and show this to see what happens. Into turn 1, it looks like Barry could get it done. He's very inside.
Right. He thinks better of it.
Passion way late on the brakes. Somehow that's not really making a corner. Okay then.
No, that was definitely
do that,
a
that's
bit
fine.
of a corner cut there. I think Barry's just going to buy his time. He knows the Passion seems to be having some issues up ahead like that, where he could now make the move. No, he doesn't quite get past. Passion
like
again, not making the corner.
Some of these camera angles are really messing with me. Like,
yeah.
I'm looking at the time, it seems close. You go on board and they're nowhere near the other car.
Oh, Passion hits the
Yokoman and Dragon again.
Oh, Passion very, very late with his brakes and smashes Barry on the side, spins them both round, but luckily
Dragon gets the move done.
Both alive. Yep, there you go.
Turn one and improves. Yeah, that's fine. That's why there's two of us.
And now Dragon's going to have
Atlantis.
to do some work to defend.
Atlantis looks closer than ever to also take advantage on this lap as well. Had some very good early pace, and Joachim gets on the curb. That's really that. He's kept it out of the wall. Well done for that. But
seems
that's
to me that he seems
Atlantis
to be
through the
struggling
third.
a little bit on those tyres, to be honest. Seems like he's not quite getting it through the turn before he hits the curb that just spins him.
Could be tyres, could be setup related. There's very variable.
Passion retired.
See, oh, I see what
like
happens. There's bodywork all over the road.
Yeah, I think he's had.
I think he's gone too early from the final corner by the look of it.
And
someone's got in the pit lane, so.
No, Barry, DTM, sorry. Because I was reading Barry's thing for a second, and yeah, DTM's in, so. He's now checking on a set of socks.
He's right behind Atlantis now. In a complete reversal of a lap ago. That's not going to get it done.
No, Joachim's coming in. As DTM retires, I think that would have been a retirement in the pit, so that's his race over.
Thunder's in as well. Denzel through. Keeps going on the softs.
So now this is where the boys in the two Ferraris have to decide. Well, first of all, if Atlantis can keep up with Dragon, does Dragon just let him pass and say, hey, you're quicker than me, let's make sure we get a solid position here? Or does he say, hey, come fight me for it? Although saying that,
we know teammate, there's DTM's car just nearly gets in the way of a Nemesis there, but Nemesis seems okay there. I did notice some bodywork at the entry to turn 1. I'm not sure whose that is, but maybe we'll find out on this lap. Someone will come in. Let's have a look at Titan, who's up into 5th very quietly. He's had a lot about him today, but
into 5th. That's actually a fair point, to be fair. And Leclerc sitting 4th on those mediums still, so
yeah, very handy.
While these guys are in battling,
he's got a healthy gap behind him as well. Yeah.
In fact, it actually kind of looks like Leclerc is catching Atlantis at this point. Looks like those mediums have finally turned themselves on. They're into their point of getting the pace on them.
They do take a while, but once they're in, you can just go forever.
Yep, I think he's finally found to take out those tyres.
On mediums, but Titan and Leclerc though, into turn 1. Is there a move there? Again. There's not a move because Leclerc just takes the middle of the road, doesn't really move, and just defends his position quite nicely.
Yep, holds that bit of road, bit of tarmac very nicely. Prime will be saying, I'm still here though, don't forget. Yep, Craig in
Denzel. Oh, that's a very wide Renault there. I'm not sure where he's
had
going.
to cut the corner to allow Craig so he doesn't contact with Craig. Now Denzel's going to be on the threat from Nemesis. This is not going to be ideal with his dirty tyres.
Gosha takes on the Oscar in the Renault. That's really difficult to put next to each other. So thanks for that, league organisers.
Two very similar gamer tags, but they have their differences. So Gosha's by, and well, he's going to probably start pulling the gap now, but it's going to take a lot to get himself back into the points.
Mr. Move and Titan and Leclerc there.
We did indeed.
I was looking at the Oscar Gosha. That's always going to happen though. You look away for a second, and then they finally find a way through.
Yep, unfortunately that does happen, but if Leclerc can use Titan just to pull himself along just a little bit more, then he could put himself into an even better position when it comes
I
to
don't think
those
he'll
guys
be
ahead of him
fighting.
pitting.
I don't think he'll be finding it too much at this point, because as we know, mediums are going to go longer than the softs. I don't know why words are so difficult, but I got there in the end.
You did indeed get there in the end, but I'd have to point out Dragon here closing the gap on Gamer again. He's finding his
Thunder
pace
there with
again.
the quickest lap of the race so far.
Thunder gets the quickest lap of the race. Yep. So he's going to be looking to close that gap to Jocham ahead of him and try and make an overtake. But it'd be Denzel now, actually. No, in fact, there we go. Thunder into the top 10 as wait. Am I getting no, Jocham out?
On board with Kosher, see what happened to. We'll try and figure out what happened to Jocham. He's going around turn 1 and 2 now, and he seems to have just. I don't know where he is.
I don't know where that car is. Oh, there.
Oh, there it is.
That's an interesting place to
That's a
have the
long
car,
way.
so
That's a strange place to do that. There must have been slight contact as he's gone for an overtake somewhere.
I think there must have been contact for that to happen there. There's no way he
gets
could
just out of shape and keeps it at the wall.
Yeah, but does get a penalty for corner cutting by the looks of things, so it's unfortunate, but it's not going to cost him too much this race as he's already outside the point.
He's very, very, very wide there, on sort of extremely right. When people are
I feel like
behind him,
he's starting to struggle as Dragon's starting to catch him, as Atlantis, in fact, into the pits.
Okay, and these cars just disappeared. That's an invisible car now.
Well,
bye.
That's interesting.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for racing. No,
still don't know where he is.
Out of the pits.
No idea where he is. I can't see him.
Seventh place is where
there he is. Oh, hi.
Out.
Yeah, okay. That's very strange. Technical difficulty, but we found him.
Yep, we used the
Leclerc still battling.
invisible car finder and found his car again. What we did there.
What we did was scan for hostile cars. That's what we did there.
Yes. But now Atlantis is in that interesting point where he's now got to warm those mediums up and get them into a range where he can use them. But while he's trying to do that, Thunder's going to have a look at getting past him.
And does that by the look of it.
He's through, so that's by the time Atlantis finds those tyres, he's going to have to remake that pass on Thunder. So that could cost him a little bit at some point.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure he's probably net P1 and 2 right now for Thunder and Atlantis.
In fact, Gamers.
I don't know about Gamers though.
And Dragon's following him in.
Okay, Leclerc stays out. Titan goes in as well. Craig Connolly, don't know about him yet. He's a bit further behind than I could read numbers. So maybe it wasn't as clear cut as I thought, but Craig will probably stay out for another lap or two. He's really good on tyres, I seem to remember from my previous experiences with him.
So this is where Leclerc has to find his momentum, just try and keep those tyres just that little bit longer. I think by the time he hits with a rough gap, he is going to come out somewhere around Nemesis and Dragon, but he will be on the faster tyres, like we stated earlier. So it will be his time to shine. Yeah, Denzel not having the most fantastic of races back there in 13, as Brian getting Kosher getting past Phoenix, I think it was. Yeah, Kosher getting past Phoenix. Phoenix seems to be in AI mode, so.
No, Oscar's not having a good day. Speeding the pit lane. Could well be manual retirement in pit lane for that. A lot of people do that, but on this occasion he seems to have not done that. But he's changed his front wing, so it's a very long stop for him. And away he goes, and he doesn't disappear like the Ferrari.
That's going to put him really far behind at this point, with other drivers more than likely running to the end. I think that's the points out of the question for him.
Yeah, it's unfortunate to see, but keep going because you never know.
Yeah, you never know when more people could retire and route you into the top 10.
Here we go, right on cue, he pits. See, I do know what I'm doing.
Yep, so with him coming out, so let's look at Gamer back to second, which the gap up ahead. In fact, I don't think Leclerc needs
Lantis
to
on his
pull
teammate.
that much more of a
Does
gap.
it move into turn 1 here?
Yep,
I think he would have been a bit more aggressive about it if Thunder wasn't there.
Yep, that's,
I think he would have just gone full out for the move.
It did mean that Dragon can hold it round the outside, so...
Yeah, good racing, obviously, and Kosh has just got that. Oh dear. A lot of those today, I'm
I feel
surprised.
like Dragon needs to let him go. Let him, while he's got the tyres up to where, into temperature and stuff, he needs to let him go and have an attack at these guys ahead. Go. Thunder still close to Nemesis.
DRS. It's on board. It seemed to have a bit of a... seemed to just have a really bad exit from turn 10. It looked close, and then as he put the power down, he just went backwards a little bit.
Yeah, he seems... I'm not sure, it seems like he could be struggling to put the power down out of corners, because he's had that issue a few times, not just around that turn, but around a few other turns, so... I think maybe he needs to work a little bit on his transmission or something.
Soon. Okay, into the final corner. It's not a typical overtaking place, but Nemesis is good enough to know that his tyres are pretty much past their best, so just let him go.
Yep.
Give him DRS, but give him a bit of a tow at the same time. Dragon will be through into turn 1 as well, presumably.
Yeah, here we go, he's on
so much more closing speed, more grip. Atlantis should follow through shortly as well. That's a hell of a mess to clean up, but never mind.
Yeah, Nemesis still in a good position to score some decent points this race though, so he can't be too down on being passed by a few of these guys.
No, I mean, he'll...
inevitable.
It seems... He'll probably understand that his tyres are old and these guys have just come out of the pit, so... Oh, that's wide from Atlantis though. It's not going to help.
Again, I don't know,
also
maybe, I feel like
on the back of this as well.
Struggling with that dirty air, it's just... It's causing him a few more issues than is ideal, but he's going to look to get a run here on Nemesis. Nemesis also has DRS, but just the grip coming out of the corner, just can get a better run down the inside. Just take a little bit less speed, but that's it, it's done.
Yeah, seems to be done, and Nemesis is just waiting for his window to open as Leclerc finally pits now. So that could tell me that Nemesis will also go in. Is he one of the ones that pitted on that one now? Someone pitted on early. Yes, he did.
He has got one less lap. Yep. So okay.
I think,
right.
Yeah. No, what am I doing? Talking. I don't know. Anyway, never mind.
So this is
someone
important
pitted,
for
someone didn't.
Where he comes out and who he has to now try and pass. So he has come out behind Nemesis. So he's got to look to get past Nemesis.
Nemesis will pit at some point.
Yeah, he's got to look to get past him, or well, as quickly as possible if he catches him.
Don't look healthy.
No, they don't look fantastic. And then once Leclerc is past Nemesis, he should just be able to put the hammer down and catch these guys ahead and just start making moves. The good thing for, I think, for Leclerc here right now is he knows Nemesis has got pit, and I'm pretty sure Thunder's going to have to pit as well on those 7-lap old softs. Be a very good stretch to take those to the end, but I'll be surprised.
I've seen it. I've seen stranger things happen. Yoska's out, don't know where. So got the field down. Oh, there he is. I just found him. He's in the wall.
Well, I could have guessed he was in a wall.
I forgot the turn. It was just, yeah. Look at everyone. Phoenix is still not come back into the session, so Denzel will probably get him in a few laps. Take the position for him.
And then
in turn, KG Fuzzball will get into the points. Yeah.
So he will come out in 8th place. pretty yeah, eighth place easy. It'll just be what can he do to the end of this race to start catching those guys ahead. Same scenario as Leclerc is in, pretty much.
Yeah, Leclerc can really put his foot down and get after these guys.
Yeah, especially now Nemesis is out of his way. And in fact, tie-in here on the back of Atlantis. So Atlantis struggling again a little bit.
Atlantis really has problems on this tyre. He doesn't look comfortable or happy on it. You can see the back end stepping out as he tries to put the power down. Quite a lot. That could be slight setup adjustment he made to compensate for the lack of fuel, or just the fact he's in turbulent air for his teammate for the majority of the race, or just not that comfortable on mediums. That's why
there is
at the top of the broadcast I said you could get away with double softs on this race. You won't have that problem. But it all depends on how good a start you have and how, I mean, yeah. Say the gap's 18 seconds to go behind. If Leclerc hadn't already committed to this, he could probably get away with it as he goes quickest. There you go, 30.3.
Yep, he's going to be reeling these guys in very quickly. As in fact, Atlantis on the back of his teammate as well.
Yeah, I always pick the wrong time to cut away from that battle, don't I?
Yes.
Next time, give it 5 more seconds. Fainted to the inside, was never going to go for it, but it is really close to his teammate now.
Yeah,
Next
it seems like now he's got that car
down
behind
into
him.
turn
He's
10.
saying, "Hey, hurry up, we've got trouble."
Yeah. A little snatch of brakes from Jagged ahead, but doesn't seem to have caused any issues on this occasion.
No,
there is an almighty fight going on here.
A little bit more wear, but nothing too serious.
Both in turn 10. Let's have a look at Atlantis. He just can't get the power down out of corners, for whatever reason. It just gives Dragon that extra, like, 10th and a half.
There's a
he needs
couple
down
of
the
things
straight to keep the position.
Could be he could higher pressures, could have his transmission too high. It's really hard to tell why, but as you say, he's definitely struggling with it. And as these three are in this train, Leclerc has come storming up to the back of Prime.
Yeah. There is a chance you can get all three of them in the same move at some point of the track, but that would take a lot of cooperation from the guys around.
And it was
they all try and break the toe of the guy in front. This is, oh, wow, interesting.
Leclerc decides,
just gets on with his job.
You guys for the shoe. I'm going to let my tyres cool down, get a nice bit of clean air into my brakes, and get very close.
Went for the move, sort of had it done, but didn't quite have the right turn in, so Dragon got back through on the inside.
Yeah, but now it's not going to put him under pressure from Prime.
Yeah, Titan is also there. Very well held around the outside there.
Yep. Oh, but no, that's it. He's under pressure from Leclerc
there is Leclerc.
Leclerc
He's there. I think he lets him go, otherwise someone's going sideways.
Yep. Well, that's one down for Leclerc.
Next
now,
up is Atlantis for Leclerc. He might get them both down into turn 1 again. We know he's quick down that part of the track. Might be able to pick off Leclerc down here. Leclerc? No, that's him. Yeah, he'll pick off himself. Maury Walker.
I'm not sure how he would pick off himself, but if that's what you believe is going to happen, then we'll go with it. But yes, he's going to look to get. He's buying his time here. He knows he's on the quicker tyre, the more grippier tyre. So he's just got to pick his moment.
Turn 1. I've no doubt of that.
Yep.
Especially with exit speeds like that, he's really pretty much inside his car now.
He's had to lift off slightly just to avoid the back end of Atlantis.
He did, and Atlantis moved it a little bit as well to break the toe, so that probably still get it done. Closing speed, and then Atlantis tries to cover him off, but won't be successful.
But the grip of those softs is just too much.
Fourth.
Right, so next up is Dragon for him. He's
Atlantis might come back at him, yeah, but it's not smooth sailing by any means, but I think Leclerc's position is fine for now.
Yep, as there was a few position changes at the back as well. I think that's just Phoenix getting overtaken while he's in AO, so We'll jump back up as Titan is trying to make a move on Atlantis. They're down the inside. Didn't quite get the move done though.
Notice there's two Mercedes at the front. How did that happen?
It is two Mercedes at the front. Very well spotted, actually. Yes. So both Mercedes looking looking solid at the moment.
It's like real life.
It's like real life, except for the fact that there's a Sauber in the mix. But yeah, speaking of Saubers, Leclerc here closing. He's closing this gap to Dragon here. He's doing what he needs to be doing, keeping it nice and smooth, nice and clean. As I think someone just ran into the pit, and Thunder into the pit. There we go.
In the Mercedes, yeah. Now come the super softs.
This puts Leclerc in a position to fight
Titan Prime is through. Titan picked off Atlantis. Atlantis might come back into turn 2, but no. Nowhere for him to go. Has to
I think Atlantis is just struggling that little bit too much to look at these moves back. He just, like we said earlier, can't get that power down. It's just not good for him at the moment.
Leclerc and Dragon right there seemed to be side by side for a moment. Then they weren't. And everything's fine.
No, well, yeah. I mean, he's... Again, Leclerc's only got to pick his moment. I think once he gets into second, he might be able to close down game up, but it's going to be asking a lot. So right now, he's just got to think about that second place.
Yeah. I don't know what it is, but Dragon always seems to get a hell of a drive out of turn 10.
I don't know. Maybe he's found the perfect tyre pressure or something for that corner. But Leclerc was having a little look through turn 11, saying, "Don't forget, I'm still here, Mr. Dragon." But he will look at getting a good run out of the final turn and just get him into turn 1, like he did on Atlantis and Prime. As in fact, Dragon tries to break the toe. There we go. Leclerc moves over to grab it, moves back. Go around the outside, and in fact he gets it done before the turn.
Very early move, yeah. It's definitely into second now, and the chase is on for the win.
Yeah, this is where he's got to.
Only a handful of laps to go.
He's got to be consistently fast. Is the key to this right now.
But overtaking is quite another.
Yep, he's got to.
But not that difficult around this track, as we've already found out.
The trick is here is to catch him without taking too much out of the tyres.
Yeah, because you need to have some left to defend with as well. But it's all well and good being on a softer compounded tyre, but if they have nothing left, then you can scrub the harder tyre to the end, and your softer one will just get you in the wall. So, fuzzball pits again.
Yeah, he's not having the most ideal race.
Fastest lap.
Well, it's definitely the opportunity to go for fastest lap.
Definitely flying now. He's extending the gap behind and decreasing the one in front. Just outside the DRS window as well, so he's not going to be vulnerable into turn 1, or shouldn't be, as he crosses the DRS activation at just over a second.
Yep, so that will give him some protection into turn 1, as long as Dragon doesn't get too much of a slipstream, which, nope, it's too far back to really get anything. In fact, he's just losing time down the straight.
But,
yeah, he's just more than anything losing time down the straight, so that's it. Leclerc's broke the gap he needs. Now, interesting, Dragon having a big slide through turns 2 and 3, so that's Prime's now closing the gap on him as Thunder, there we go, goes and sets the fastest lap on those super softs.
Let's have a look at Prime. Let's have a look and see if he can overtake the Ferrari ahead. Force himself into the podium contention. They're on the same tyre. It just seems to be Titan seems to have a little bit more about himself on this tyre than either of the Ferraris. Look at Dragon's traction out of turn 10 now compared to...
It's like a rocket ship.
It doesn't matter if you put a rocket ship, you'd still be P4.
was kind of hoping you would make that reference, hence why I said rocket ship. I had a feeling it was coming, but...
I kind of have to make that reference if you bring up a rocket ship in the middle of a race. There's no other thing to do.
Fair point. There we go, Titan. Within that second gap to Dragon, so he's going to get DRS coming down the straight. I don't think he'll be close enough to make a move into turn 1, but this should bring him closer.
Shouldn't be, but he won't really get close enough until the braking zone, in which case it's too late to make a move. But it's definitely, there you go, into the braking zone.
But it has brought him a lot closer.
Slightly closer.
Maybe the next lap or two be looking at it.
Doing that, yeah. Again, overtaking is not the art of doing it here and now. It's thinking like 3, 4, 5 laps ahead to try and outfox your opponent to get past him. That's a mentality that not all
I
big
think
drivers
he
have. They
could
just want to
get
get past here and now.
I think he could get it done this lap though, because he's gaining a little bit more on Dragon, as Dragon has a bit of a lock up.
Yeah, you can see the puff of dust from the tyres there, not dust but smoke or whatever it is. And you just see Dragon get a hell of a drive and disappear a little bit down the straight again. Definitely found something through that corner that no one else has. And the AI of Phoenix pits, so that should get Barry and probably Fuzzball through as well.
Yep, I'd imagine that they'll both get through.
There you go. Right,
again,
exactly
that middle sector for Dragon, he's gained 4 or 5 temps in just that sector on Titan. That's impressive.
Mental. It's all about turn 10. I don't know what he's got going on in the back of that thing, but it's some sort of setup variable that it's just unexplainable to me right now. But whatever it is working for him, and he may just hold on to the podium because of that. But it also depends on how many penalties people around him have as well. I'm not sure if Dragon has any. I don't think Titan does. I don't recall seeing their names pop up.
Yeah, I don't recall seeing too many penalties appear. I will have a quick look though. I'm looking at Titan and Dragon here, so as far as I can see, few warnings, but no penalties for either of them. In fact, I don't think there's any penalties for any of the front runners.
Interesting.
I now have doggies barking, so give me a minute.
That's fine. Maybe the dogs want to race and maybe he's just opened his DRS a bit too early and caused a pile up at turn 2. But anyway, as we go on board still with Titan in this colossal battle with the Ferrari of Dragon ahead, he's within half a second, which is I think closest than he's ever been, but then he seems to have a little bit of a lag deficiency going out of the corner there as the Ferrari slightly jumped, but he's still within the 3/10, 4/10 that he might need to be to get any chance of an overtake down the straight. They have the 2/10s down there, but going to see what happens, but I don't think it's close enough to get the move done. He will scare him a little bit, but Dragon won't be too worried.
It's bringing him closer, but he's got to try and find the same thing that Dragon has in that middle sector, just to bring him close. I do want to point out Leclerc's not really closing the gap to first, so I think those two have settled into those positions.
Gaps. I think they just think they want the points rather than trying. Yeah, they're just putting that on Prost approach, which there's nothing wrong with that. Do what we need to do to get ahead of your rivals. If it means finishing third one day, then so be it. Go for it. Although, hang on. Look how close they are to Leclerc all of a sudden.
Yeah, I was just thinking this actually. They are suddenly closing back in on Leclerc. I wonder if Leclerc is trying to take too much out of those tyres, trying to get past some of these guys. I mean, he has done 10 solid laps on them, where he's had some decent pace on them for the first, I'd say, 5-6 laps that he used them for. So.
I think he went purple for 3 of the first 5 laps as he had them as well. Oh, there's one for Dragon. Okay, there we go.
3-second penalty, so
that
now
he
really has to think about what he's going to do here. He has to get a 3-second gap to Titan, but as it stands, Titan's keep
seem like it's going to be possible to do that.
Titan could look at a move here. Dragon getting a little bit of a slide. It's done a relatively good drive out the final turn, but with DRS and slipstream, Titan's
Probably
going to
gets
be
one, but never mind.
there with him. In fact, he might get it done before
I think he's got it done.
no,
Has he?
side,
Can he cover it?
side
By side into
little touch of the
yes.
Titan. There you go. Titan is through.
There you go. You see, that's what thinking 3, 4, 5 laps ahead does for you. Just keep shaking a little 10th hero there out of the car in front, and eventually you're bound to overtake him into a braking zone or something. Now all you got to do is make sure you don't give that straight back, as Dragon seems to have a bit of a bad exit through there and gets on the curb, so will cost himself a little bit of time, but probably still has, yeah, he will still have DRS down into turn 11, but this is where he's so good from in front, but all of a sudden he didn't have such a good exit from behind. Maybe it's just lack of turbulent air, which was his secret to success through turn 10.
That might have been the case, but I don't think we're going to get the opportunity to ask him on the grid unless he can really put some times in on these next laps. But the next thing he now has to think about is keeping that gap to his teammate above 3 seconds, otherwise he could lose another position.
I'm not sure if his teammate's going to know the car ahead's got a penalty. So,
I mean, if his teammate behind, oh no, it doesn't matter anymore.
Well, it doesn't matter now, does it?
That takes that one out of the
Never
question.
mind.
So, as it stands, then the top 3, as they are, probably will stay like this until the end of the race.
It's been a very quick, entertaining race. This.
Yeah,
Barry
this
down
has
in
had
12,
some
he's
good
getting so
battling
close
in
to
it.
cagey Fuzzball into turn 10. Just give them a little bit of camera time and so they can feel the love, but Fuzzball just disappears down out of turn 10. Was about
Suddenly,
8-10, so now he's
doing a
1.2
dragon.
seconds. Hello there. They are approaching the back marker of AI Phoenix as well, at the front.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be a problem, just drive through them if you have to.
Yep, that's the beauty of having Ghost in on when someone AIs. You can just drive straight through them. Just don't let it be too much of a distraction for yourself. In fact, actually, I have just noticed something very interesting here. Leclerc, suddenly
he's found some time again.
Oh yeah, but he did a big slide up the hill there. That's.
It cost him about 3/10, but he's certainly picked up a little bit. I thought he was vulnerable to losing second place to Titan for a while, but I think he's probably fine now.
I think he's good now. That might have been why he suddenly found some pace. He might have just decided he wants to get that gap open, make sure he can hold that position. Yep. I don't think it's necessarily about getting first at this point.
No, I think it's just about, yeah. He's been second most of the way. For this stint, he really wants to keep it.
Yeah, but I have to say, though,
superlative drives today for some of the people.
Yeah, I'd say look,
shout out for Craig Connolly, who didn't even get to set a lap in quali. It was Craig Connolly there in 7th place. He's done well to recover to there.
Actually, yeah, that's a fair point. Not setting a lap coming from. Where did he start? He started in a 15th, in fact, and he's put himself into 7th. So
change. Let's have a look at that. Leclerc's come up 8 as well, as has Kosher. Tough call for the driver of the day, potentially. Could again be decided on lack of penalties, but definitely be my lead candidate. Let's pull the end of this race and see what happens with Titan. Broke something. There we go. I made the gap go away for a second. Sorry about that.
Whoops, but I think everyone is now settled into their positions.
Yeah.
Well, it's a battle for third on track.
Yeah, I forgot. I don't think Titan has a penalty, but Dragon does. So
I believe he does. So.
Oh, well, that's not a great line either.
Yeah. Dragon's just tried a little bit hard into that turn, run wide.
There we go, and Titan will take 3rd place there, and Atlantis will take 5th. Let's get on board. Thunder will be 6th. Pretty more spread out than I'm used to being around this track. There's usually slightly more battling than this, but
still
wasn't a bad race,
solid racing,
even
right?
so. Yeah. Nemesis will come home in 8th. Very good job for Craig to come home in 7th, though. Excellent drive. Excellent recovery drive. One-stop strategy. Yep, see, look, there's a lot of two stops going on. KG unfortunately had to do 3. Gosh, yeah, 9th and Denzel. Wow, yeah, I'll just stop going, never mind about that. Denzel, there we go.
Right, so I'm going to start inviting the top 3 into the party now. If you want to give us a...
Looks like you already have.
Yeah, wow, I'm kind of on it.
Fuzzball will 11th, and Barry in the red ball will round off the field in 12th. Phoenix lagged out very early on. Was an AI car for a long time. Oh. Stealth.
So, seems like we're going to have an actual decent podium talk this week. It's good to see.
Yep. Seemed to surprise everyone last week when we had one and only the winner came. But yep, well, just to confirm the finishing order one more time. If, you know, the finishing order will be presented to me, that will be great. There we go. Gamer wins the race with a very good drive. Leclerc with a brilliant recovery. Well, not recovery, started 10th on the mediums, but very good job all the same. Titan 3rd had a very solid race as well. A lot of solid drives today. It's very, very good. Dragon 4th. Atlantis 5th. Seemed to struggle today, so probably could have done a bit better, but never mind. Thunder 6th. Craig, excellent recovery. 7th. Nemesis 8th. Caution 9th. And Denzel rounds out the points in 10th in the Renault. And with that, I shall hand over to the other guy in the box to do some podium chat.
Appreciate being referred to as the other guy. But, yes, if I could ask everyone that's just joined to make sure they include their audio for this podium talk. And we will get started with Titan. Starting 7th, seemed like you had a decent start. And then throughout most of that race, looks like you were battling a lot. In the end, it seemed like you bide your time quite nicely to get into 3rd place. Just go through some of the difficulties of getting past some of your fellow competitors to get yourself into this position.
Yeah, it was a pretty tough race. Like you say, I was battling pretty much non-stop trying to get past people. Especially I came because there was a lot of. It wasn't just one person trying to get past. There was 2 or 3 in a bit of a DRS train. So I really had to sort of like pick my battles and. Just trying to get past where I could, but yeah, it was quite tough. But I'm well happy with P3, seeing as though I bottled my qualifying lap to start 7th, so I can't really complain.
Yeah, that was a very good race from your end indeed. So we'll move on to Leclerc now. Starting 10th on the mediums, you were on the alternate tyre to everyone else in the top 10, and it seemed like you had a blinding start. You made, I think it was like 5 positions off of just the opening lap. Just run us through like a few of the thoughts that were going through your head through that race. Like, did you have kind of any kind of doubt on your strategy, or do you think that you were just on the better tyre from the start?
Well, it wasn't the tyre of choice, to be honest. I bottled my qualifying lap on the softs, unfortunately. Ran a bit wide out of the long left-hander in the final sector and basically invalidated. So I was forced to start on the mediums, which I'd already done 2 qualifying laps on. And then basically, at the start of the race, I thought, great, this is going to be a long race. And then I have no idea where that start came from.
That's an interesting insight to there. Well, maybe bottling your qualifying lap wasn't necessarily as much of a bottle, considering you managed to finish 2nd in the race.
Yeah, I was like when I saw like the initial plan was to do a two-stop, but I saw like the soft runners ahead of me were like going a lot longer than what I was expecting them to. So I realised quickly they were doing a one-stop. So I adjusted myself to do a one-stop as well. Pitted at the end of lap 15, I thought it was, and basically came out on the softs. And then I realised I was behind a huge train of cars, so I like picked my moments to get past them, and then when I got up to the second, I then just went flat out to try and catch the leader.
Well, I have to say, good racing overall, and well done on your second place. So, moving on to Gamer. Seemed like a pretty controlled race. At the start, seemed like you couldn't really open the gap too much, and you kept opening and closing it, and it kind of kept changing a lot. But at the end, you seemed to just find some pace and get that gap open enough so that you couldn't lose the lead. I don't really know what kind of questions to ask you for this race, to be honest with you. It seemed like it was a relatively easy one.
Well, the first stint, they were all in a train, so I was just hoping I could gap by a second, but it kept on falling to underneath, so that wasn't great. And then when I pit, I came out in front of a Williams who hadn't pit yet, and everyone else came out behind him, so I got a bit lucky there, and that's how I was able to create a bit of a gap.
Yeah, like I say, I haven't really got too many questions about your race. Seemed like I said, pretty easy. So I have to say, good racing across the board, gentlemen, and hope to see the same kind of entertainment next week. And with that, I'm going to hand back over to Mackie to close the stream out.
Thanks, good job, and congrats to everyone for scoring points, and especially you guys on the podium. You all drove really well today. Great to see. We will sign off now. We will see you same time next week. Don't know where, but whatever it is, we'll be here. So everyone, Spain. Oh, great. Yeah, I'm sure we'll be all fine. But yeah, congratulations everyone, and see you all next week. Good night.